as young as 18 years.
So DHSS was 19.7 on Monday, and you said it's already up to 25.
Today is
Today.
25
Yeah.
for ours. That was just our testing.
Yeah. Look a lot like Christmas,
Yeah, we're not October.
October.
It's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item will be roll call.
Brown,
Here.
Cox,
Here.
Rick,
Present.
Turkey,
Here.
David,
Here.
Neil.
Here. Take a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Everyone's had a chance to look over the previous meetings minutes, or are there any additions or corrections?
Mr. Chairman, the staff found that we did not on 5A and B. They suggested that we have the resolution number 6 and 7 in there instead of just saying capitalization policy in the Richard amendment. So the official minutes have been corrected to
Okay.
show resolution 6 and resolution 7.
Okay. Are there any other corrections? If not, they'll stand approved with those corrections. Now, the visitors, here. Was there any public comments? We'll move on to the officers' report, the chief's report.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I do not have a written report tonight. I've been pretty well neck deep in COVID stuff. Wanting to make the board aware that we're probably going to be re-implementing some of the old requirements that we had. We'll probably be shutting down the office for anybody who doesn't have business there, require masks for any visitors, of course, similar to the actions Buffalo's taken. I've spent the last couple days rewriting the SOG or our guideline for that. It's not complete yet, but probably will be in the next couple of days. So I'll have some more information on that for the board next meeting. Mr. Davis and I were speaking before the meeting about the positivity rate in Pettis County right now is well over 20%. That's gone up just since yesterday. So we do have a significant amount of COVID in the county. I've also got 2 staff members out right now. One is hospitalized. I do not have any more information other than that right now. So that's all the bad news. Units 2 and 6 that, or I'm sorry, units 1 and 2 that the board had agreed to sell. We've had some mechanical problems with one of our other high mileage units, number 6. We are trying to find out if we can get some warranty work done. The motor is relatively new on it and under warranty, but I'm not sure if the actual problem that happened is warranted. So we're still waiting on information for that. What I've taken the liberty of doing in the meantime was just listing one of those units. And if it's not able to be fixed, we did really good on the last unit last time. I'll bring some options to the board from that for the next meeting, so we can decide on whether or not to sell that one or sell unit 6, which has got some pretty major engine problems, got a hole in the pistons. So, like I said, I'll update the board on that. The other unit is in fact listed already, so it's on gut deals already. So I'm just holding off to approve it this time. I think that would be a good idea. I wanted to bring the board's attention to the website. This is, Ryan's already got it scrolled down. That's our PCAD.us website. The notice is not new. That's all COVID stuff. It's pretty much just a fixture of the site, as you all know, for the past year and a half. However, what I did change up there is I put a letter from the chief to the public. In keeping with our strategic plan, our strategic planning committee, there's a lot of things that kind of talk about my own personal goals for the district on becoming chief back in 2017. And I would encourage everybody to go to the website, PCAD.us, and have a read at that letter. It's just 1 page long. It looks a lot longer than that, but it's not really that bad. I don't know if anybody can read it on the board because it's a little bit slow. I barely got it, but I don't think Ryan can make it any bigger. But it essentially talks about our history, our operational staff, our organizational structure, and some of my goals as a leader of this organization. So I thought it was a nice little touch. There's a lot of other districts that have done similar things like that to their websites, and this is just kind of an introduction of me and my thoughts personally to the patrons of Pettis County Ambulance District. If you'll scroll down below that, like I said, this just goes over kind of our ALS and BLS providers and our training and so forth. This has been up there for a while. The PCAD history has been up there for a while, but there are a lot of things that weren't on there. Jamie wasn't on there. The addition of the position of Chief Financial Officer had been added. Those are a lot of things that have been added over the years. It's by no means a complete list, and what I would like to do at some point on our website is make a pretty comprehensive timeline just for a historical reference, because although you could go through stacks and stacks of meeting minutes, I don't think that's really very exciting or interesting. I'd like to put a concise list together and get it up on the board, up on the website. So eventually we'll have all that. I put some of our affiliate agencies down there as far as the American Heart Association, and just a lot of updates to the website about us page. So I want to bring that to your attention. Please go by and visit that. There's a lot of other stuff available on our webpage. A lot of different things are linked in there, different agencies and affiliations. But Ryan got that up for me in a hurry, and I appreciate that today. So that's been updated. Just wanted to let everybody know about that. Right now, as of today, I do not have the report that I've been waiting on. I was really, really hopeful I would have that tonight. As a part of our efforts, as part of our strategic planning committee, would you like me to wait for that agenda?
Wait till that report if you want.
What's that?
You can just wait for the strategic planning till that committee.
Okay. But like I said, the website, a lot of that letter I wrote kind of dovetails into our strategic planning efforts, at least from my perspective on that committee. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Yes.
In line with that, Chief, I happened to be on the city's website,
Mhm.
and it said we had 6 ambulances. It's old.
That's
With
that
that
needs
information.
update.
Yeah, and I don't know who in the city does that, or who would be,
I can do some checking. I'll do some checking. I'll send them a link to that.
I mean, it'd be nice if they looked at our website.
Yeah.
And got their information each year and updated it based on what we have on there.
Yeah, I think there's probably a county site that does the same thing, that kind of tells people what kind of services are available as far as law enforcement and hospitals and whatnot. And I imagine we're probably not the ones that need updated. Yeah, I'll look at that. See if we can get some current information on that. Or maybe you can just link to our website.
Question for Eric. If not, we'll move on to CFO report.
My report starts on page 5. It's pretty short and sweet. So it starts with the bank balances as of July 22nd. Up about, I'm sorry, down about 50,000 from the previous meeting. Year over year, we're up about 1.8 million. Page 6 has our cash reserve analysis. That is down about a month. Most of that due to the purchase of some additional ambulances that you'll see back here in the bills. Any questions on any of that? Page 7 and 8. Any other questions on any of those? Page 9 is our current bills and the details of pages 10 through 12. Anybody have any questions on any of those bills?
Hi.
Yes.
I noticed Big O tires. Seems like Jim's tire has been before. Do we ask different places, but we shop that out?
Yeah.
Is that how that happens?
Big O Tires does all of our oil changes and maintenance. So that's why you see that.
That's not just tires.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nope, if you look at the details.
Oil A lot of our routine.
Okay.
Yeah, and we get the state bid on tires some places, so. Few ways. Any other questions?
You know, what did you get from the cocaine pharmacy?
We get medicine there.
Judge.
Narcotics,
Yeah.
that's where we get them.
Really?
Yep. I had that question earlier on, Steve.
No other questions, that's the end of my report.
Are there any other questions for James?
Thank you, James.
Not, I would take a motion to approve the payment of outstanding bills.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Medical director.
We had a fairly interesting month, busy month. Reflects everything that's been going on around us. But one of the things I wanted to bring to your attention tonight, just within the last few days, we had a code save. Patient collapsed at home. The home was under renovation and there was hardly an intact floor in the whole place. And they just had planks over the joists. And the guy, of course, was in the back bedroom, you know, couldn't have been in the front of the house. He was in the back of the house. And it was a tiny little bedroom and he had collapsed face down on the bed. And he had been arguing, his wife had wanted him to go to the hospital because he felt terrible. And of course, he said, no, I'm not going. Well, he collapsed in the bedroom and she couldn't arouse him, so she called 911. The thing about this, he was unresponsive when we got there, and there wasn't much room to work in, and the fire, of course, responded with us, and the paramedic asked him, he said, guys, clear the room. We've got to have some room to work this guy. And he said, I mean, he looked down, he did a few things, and he looked back up, and everything was gone. He said, I don't know where they put that stuff. If it's in, drop it through the floor to the basement or what they did with it, but they finally had some work room. But they got him back and they flew him to, I think, university. And they had return of circulation and pulse before they got him on the helicopter. And he made it to surgery and he's out, you know, he survived that. So it looks like this is going to be a valid save. And I was talking to the medic this morning about this fall. And we definitely need to include the fire department because they were doing chest compressions. I mean, they were an integral part in making sure this guy survived. This is cooperation between these two departments that didn't exist before. We have come so far. It was a great save and a great thing for both the fire department and for those coming in. Any comments or questions?
So that was in Pettis County?
Yeah,
Sedalia Fire.
yeah, Sedalia Fire. Yeah, no, it wasn't Pettis County Fire, it was Sedalia Fire. And I think it was on Grant, it was the address, if I'm not mistaken.
Did too much shout for a hit up here.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
How did they get him out?
that's what the fire department is brilliant at. They're very good.
Well, no, and literally, it was kind of like what they call a Chicago carry. And this guy's under his, you know, around his chest and a guy on each leg and just carried him through the house out to the cot.
On the planks?
So you can't make this stuff up.
Are there any other questions for the doctor? Thank you. Committee reports, Eric and I talked about things. strategic planning committee is getting involved in the end, and he's got some things he's going to share. He's kind of wants to present to them. I'm not sure how this committee is going to look with the positive rate, but we'll figure out a way like that.
There's a little, there's a little. I don't have much information tonight, but I do, like I said, I think it's important to check out that website and check out kind of at least my vision. Obviously, this committee is made up of more than just me, but I wanted to kind of put that out there as maybe a segue into our strategic planning efforts. As part of our efforts right now, what's going on is to improve our service to the community. We've been looking at ways to improve response times throughout our district, specifically to the west and southwest portions of Sedalia. If you look at Sedalia on a map and think of the major thoroughfares, 50 highway, B highway, Y highway, and even South 65, they're kind of like spokes on a wheel. So we've been looking at some different ways to improve response times in that area. It could be this could be achieved in several ways, but primarily what we're looking at right now is possibly eventually moving 2 units that are now housed across the street from downtown headquarters to a new location in that area. We have sent off some data for call data to the IFS. IFF uses a company to map and analyze data from the CAD. That has taken some time. I do have confirmation that report, I know I've mentioned this to the board in the past, I do have confirmation that report is actually done. There were a few erroneous entries into it because of corrupt CAD data, bad addresses, invalid calls. We had to pull that out so we could actually clean up the data. But I do have confirmation that it is done and it's being reviewed at this time. So I'm really, don't want to make any promises, but I think we'll have it at the next board meeting, if not our next strategic planning meeting. We'll go over that and present that information to the board as it becomes available. So what I did find out about it, though, having not seen it, to talk to the individual working on it, is our initial thoughts about those best locations and those spokes on a wheel are leading us down that path. They corroborate our data, our initial thoughts on it, as to needing something to the south and southwest of Sedalia. It's hard to get there from downtown Sedalia. Is an excellent place to have a station, but it is quite a ways away from that end of town. We've got the east covered, the central area covered, the north and south pretty well in town covered by downtown stations and Station 2 at TT Highway. But when it comes to getting west, we do have some issues over there. So that's where we're looking. We're looking for land, buildings, just whatever kind of comes up, what kind of information we can gather. That's the phase we're in, it's just gathering up information at this point. Some of those considerations for that include 2 of the primary ones are keeping those units close enough to the city limits so that they can actually run effective operations without increasing the workloads to the remaining trucks downtown. Right now, we have 4 units in downtown Sedalia. If we pull half of them, we want to still keep that load even. I don't think that'd be an issue as long as we could keep that whatever that location we could end up at close to town and not too far out on any one of those spokes of the wheel I was talking about. Again, the other thing goes hand in hand with that. Our location should have a easy access to those main county roads. Again, to reiterate, that's West 50, Y, B, and 65, all of which the further out you are, the harder it is to get between them. The roads are very, very limited, especially in the wintertime when they might not be in the greatest of conditions. So that's where we're at right now. Again, I'll get that report in and review it with the strategic planning committee and hopefully bring back some better data to the board at a later date. That is all I have right now.
Who is on the strategic planning committee?
We have 1 battalion chief, that's Lance Dibsey, who's actually on it right now. Myself, Lloyd Pennington,
Mr. Gerke, Mr. Fritz.
Mr. Gerke, Mr. Fritz, Jamie, I believe is on there. And if I think I mentioned Roy, I believe that's it.
I invite Mr. Davis to join us. And Mr. Cox. This is the only thing I'll say. I mean, I'd be willing to even forfeit another evening of my life, personal life, when we get to the point, and doing do some work sessions for such purposes. I'd be willing to do that. So,
Really, any other questions about the plan?
thank you, Chief.
We'll try to make that happen and pull it together in some fashion. Maybe monthly.
Monthly report to this board.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Have one every 2 weeks.
No.
We'll move on to unfinished business, the gov deals business, which are kind of already hit on. In this report.
Like I said, the ambulance, this just kind of popped up. What happened was Unit 6 blew its engine last spring. Unit 6, again, was one of the higher mileage units. Blew its engine last spring, was replaced. The warranty on that new engine was 3 years, 100,000 miles. We've only got, at this time, it's only accumulated just a little over 18,000 miles. And that's because when we put a new motor in it, we kind of backlined it. We didn't want to use it all the time as a frontline unit because of its high mileage, but it was running. Nonetheless, it started making noises. This was with the patient on board, unfortunately. The ambulance started to make noises and wouldn't accelerate anymore. They notified the medic attending. The ambulance was pulled over, and care was transferred to another unit, and it was eventually towed by dogs. What we found out in the meantime was that it does have a piston with a hole in it. Since that engine is warranty, there's a possibility that we might get stuck with the labor on it, which that's supposed to be covered in the warranty. There's a possibility that the warranty might not cover it at all, because I don't know at this time what the hole in the piston, but sometimes if the problem with the motor is caused by another problem outside of the motor, which would be an injector in this case, most likely, you could be looking at the warranty not being very good. So I really hope we're not at that juncture, but I don't have the information to give the board tonight, so I don't want to speculate. The fact that I don't know led us to believe it would be prudent if we only listed one of those units. So no matter what happens, we end up with still having a drivable unit. At this point, I don't know if the board would like a recommendation from me, but it's my feelings that if it costs a bunch of money to fix, then we revise the decision to sell 1 and 2 instead to sell 2 and 6. But again, I'd like the board to have more information for that decision. Unit 1 is listed. Unit 2 is listed on GovDeals. I believe it. All right, closing date for it. And
30 days. So we could cancel that.
sure, yeah. Like I said, I just thought, since we don't know, I'll just put one of them up there right now. If we want, once I've got some more decisions, I can email the board out all that information, and gentlemen can decide how to proceed from there.
Did the copier go in good deals as well?
I don't know that it's been listed. Our other copier is installed, and they actually came by today and did their in-service for all of us to figure out how to use it. And guys, they were helpful, very intuitive. It's a nice copier. It's going to work very.
Yes, it's on. It's on.
Yes, thank you.
Is there any else questions on the gov? Wait till we have more information.
Don't you can on that.
Since we have no new business, are there any announcements to be made?
I just got a question. Brian, did you put this together on the? Yeah, this is very, very interesting. Are jobs posted on here as well? If they have openings? Thanks for this.
Are there any other announcements?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just got some news today with regard to a program that the board might want to consider, and I'm going to maybe get it on the next agenda, that would provide an opportunity for those employees within our organization that want to move from an EMT into a paramedic position, that we can assist in that financial matter. And through this plan, get a recoupment of the full tuition, roughly $7,500 of that person becoming a paramedic and that tuition cost. And if they successfully pass, we get the reimbursement 100%. I think that's the plan that the board would be worthy of taking the time to look at. Possibly allowing Eric and the doc to vote. I hope I didn't get too far in front of that deal, Doc. Nope. So, I mean, currently we have a valued employee that could use that. But we've missed the cutoff, and it does have to have board approval. And I think the discussion we need to have is how we need to platform that. If the board wishes to embrace it, how we need to platform that with our union. Make it fair for everybody. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Now I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.